It's the Thursday press conference from Silverstone ahead of the British Grand Prix, and joining us today we have Valtteri Bottas from Williams, Jenson Button from McLaren, Marcus Ericsson from Sauber, Pastor Maldonado from Lotus, Kimi Räikkönen from Ferrari and Will Stevens from Manor. Valtteri, why don't we start with you? You finished second here last year from, I think, 14th on the grid, equal best result so far in Formula 1, your finish. Is this one of your favourite tracks?
Well, it's one of them, definitely. It's one of these old school tracks and really high speed, so it's always really fun to drive here. And I think it should be good for our car as well, like we saw last year. And we had some new bits for Austria, and I think they should work maybe slightly better here. So looking forward to the weekend.
Well, you had podiums obviously for Williams at the last two races, but can you tell us a bit more about why you think your car particularly suits this circuit and the things that you're bringing here which are going to help that?
Well, long straights, that's where we've been strong the last 1.5 years, and I think we've been this year pretty good in high-speed corners as well. And probably the updates we had in Austria, they definitely created more downforce, but maybe we were a bit too draggy for that circuit, so maybe we can make a better use of that, and if we just get everything right, it could be a strong weekend, but let's see.
Okay, thank you for that. Jenson, coming to you. This year, I think it's fair to say it's been hard yards, as we say here in England, but does racing on home soil raise the spirits a bit?
It does. It's, I mean, every race that we race in is a special race. You can find reasons to be excited, but when it's your home Grand Prix, it's always very special. The British fans and public will be here whether it's raining, 32 degrees, there's a British guy at the front or a British guy at the back. They will always be here to support us, which is fantastic. It's always a very, very special atmosphere here, and I'm really looking forward to the weekend.
World champion drivers are obviously leaders within a team. So what's the message to Honda and the McLaren management? What strategy do you want to adopt in terms of performance, reliability, and what would be a win at the moment?
Well, first of all, I don't think a press conference is the best place to do that. You know, we are one team and we work together, and if we have issues, we talk amongst ourselves, and that's the only way to improve the situation. The confidence is high within the team. You might say, why is that? The last two races have been very difficult, which they have, but there's a massive belief within the team that we will improve. There's a lot in the pipeline. I don't want to look too far into the future. You know, I'm one of those people that want to live in the moment and do the best I can right now. It's the British Grand Prix in front of the home crowd, and I'm really looking forward to it, and I will maximise what we have this weekend. Okay,
thank you for that. Kimi, coming to you, the GPDA fan survey revealed that you are the most popular Formula 1 driver, it would seem, amongst those polled. What's your reaction to that?
Well, it's a good thing. I'd rather take the fans than not having them. But you know, obviously, some people, maybe I was lucky that in their mind I was the one who answered the survey. But you know, I'm happy to have fans, and obviously that's a good thing.
What do you think it is about your character that appeals to them?
Well, I don't know. You have to go and ask them who voted. So.
It's a few too many to do that, I think. The team is telling us that retaining your seat for next season is in your hands. Do you feel you're on the right track to meet their targets?
Well, I don't know. Obviously, they make the decision, and you know, we tried to do a good races. Obviously, last race was a bit difficult, but that's a part of the game. You know, sometimes you have that, and. Who knows, you know, I don't know anything more than you guys, so I know hopefully some point, you know, what will happen, and you know, it's always speculations this time of the year, and always the same stories, so it doesn't really surprise me a lot, so let's see what happens.
Okay, thank you for that. Marcus, coming to you, you edged it over your teammate in Canada, he edged it over you in Austria. Describe the duel between you this season at Sauber and what the atmosphere is like in the team.
Atmosphere is good. I think me and Philippe are working well together. Obviously, he's had the upper hand so far, but I'm looking to change that, working hard for it. And yeah, now coming to Silverstone is one of my favorite tracks. Really enjoy driving here. Some really great corner combinations. So yeah, hopefully I can fight back and have a good weekend.
It looks like Sauber's been caught after that strong start with the big points finishes in the early races. Only 1 points finish in the last 5 for the team. Do you have some answers up your sleeve in development terms for the second half of the season? And how much of a boost do you think Mark Smith, the new technical director, will be?
I think we knew that the summer was going to be a bit difficult for us. We have a big upgrade coming after the summer. And yeah, we are hurting a bit at the moment with people bringing updates to the recent races, and we have lost a bit of touch to some of them. But I think still we showed in Austria last time out that if we maximize what we have, we can still become competitive and fight in the midfield. So that's what we need to focus on doing. And on Mark Smith, obviously I worked with him a bit last year in Caterham, and I have a very positive feeling him joining the team. Obviously that's not going to be he's not going to be able to do much short term, but I think on longer term he's a very good person to have in the team with his experience. So it's a good thing for Sauber.
Okay, thank you for that. Pastor, coming to you. Points scored in the last 2 races, but you've never scored points at Silverstone, amazingly. Looking to put that right this weekend?
I hope so. So, do my best.
How did you leave it with Max Verstappen after the battle in the last race in Austria? Spectacular action on track. How have you left it on a personal level?
Yeah, I mean, it was a great battle. This kind of battle I always enjoy. You know, this is real fight in Formula One, which is always fair. You know, and for sure it was a couple of times very close, just because he was trying to put me over the track. But this is part of the race, you know. I really like the stewards that allowed us to race and to have more opportunities to fight in the track. And yeah, it was great. I mean, for me it was okay. After that, the race started very bad because we had some problems in the start, and then we recovered quite well thanks to the strategy, thanks to the team as well, and I drove quite well.
Okay, thank you for that. And Will, coming to you, congratulations, celebrated your 24th birthday last weekend. What are your feelings on making your home Formula One debut in front of a capacity crowd on Sunday at the British Grand Prix?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to this race. I have been for a long time. You know, clearly for us growing up, we watched this race and come to it for many years. So to be here for my first home Grand Prix is really exciting, and can't wait to get out there on Friday and to see everybody around the circuit.
The last couple of races haven't been so good for you or the team. The margin, particularly in Austria, seemed to be bigger than it's been elsewhere. Are the technical reasons for that due to the package that you've got, and how do you think you'll be fixed this weekend?
Well, I think the last few races have been a little bit more up and down. I think the actual times from the free practice sessions in Austria are pretty strong. Quali for us didn't really work out because of the conditions, but looking ahead to this weekend, we should be making some steps forward with the car for sure. We have quite a few upgrades here, which is nice. So looking forward to Friday to see how much that can help us out.
Okay, thanks for that. Let's throw it to the floor then. Give us your name and your publication, and who's got the first question this afternoon, please. Yes.
Heikki Kulta, Turun Sanomat. Kimi, accident here last year, accident in last race in Austria. How difficult is it for you to come to this weekend?
It's a new race, different weekend. It doesn't matter if you have accident. It's just obviously was bad for our race, but that's a part of the game, you know. It doesn't change this weekend at all. I have had accidents before, and probably will in the future. So it's no, you pay the price when things go wrong.
Next question, please.
Mike Dudson, Grand Prix Plus. It's a question, I think, for Jensen and Kimi. Last weekend we had Formula E racing in London. There are a few good old F1 names among the drivers. Did either of you see the race? And would you seriously consider switching to electric racing after Formula One?
To answer the second question, no. And did I watch the race? No. I have watched the race this year, and the reason is it's not because of the cars themselves. It's because of the drivers. You know, there's a lot of drivers that I've raced against over the years. I think there's 13 ex-F1 drivers, and that's what makes the category exciting. You know, they've got some real talent there. They've done a good job of getting talented drivers in the cars. I think there's a great place for electric racing, if that's what you want to call it. But I think it's great, and I think there's a good fight amongst the talented drivers that are there. But it's not something that interests me. You know, motorsport is motorsport for me, and something that I love is the smell, the sound, and the speed, and that's what Formula One is all about.
Kimi.
Yeah, actually I saw it. I saw the race, and I'm not so interested on really in the future or at some point to race them. I mean, they done well to go in the places that they race. I think it's nice for people, but I mean, for me, unfortunately, they just, you know, we always talk here. It doesn't go fast. It doesn't look spectacular. I mean, they are, in my view, they are pretty slow. I mean, the concept is probably nice in the future, but right now, yes, they get the good racing out of it, but it doesn't really. It's something that is not doesn't excite me really. So, but obviously, I'm happy for them to make such a good race series out of it.
Okay. Next question, please. Name and publication, please.
Daan de Geus, nu.nl. Question for Kimi. You let it be known early in the season that you were quite happy about the 2015 Ferrari in the way it handled and it fit your driving style. Ferrari have obviously been updating the car and made some changes to it. Do you still like the way it handles and the way it suits your way of driving?
I mean, I don't see why I wouldn't suddenly like it. It's because I had an accident. It doesn't change anything, you know. You have accidents sometimes, and that's, like I said, it's part of the game. You know, we improved the car, and it's still a great car. Obviously, not probably fast enough to challenge Mercedes all the time, but it's a very good car, and it's a massive improvement from last year. So, you know, things go wrong sometimes, but it doesn't mean that you suddenly hate the car or you don't like the things. It's just a part of the game, you know. And like I said, it's a good package. Obviously, we want to improve and make it faster, but this, you know, things could always be better. Even if you're a winning car, you always wanting more out of it, but like I said, we've come such a long way from last year that people forget always, and we're still work in progress to improve things. So.
Okay. Next one, please. Name and publication, please.
Daniel Ortelli, Agence France Presse. A question for Jensen. You were very vocal and supportive when the survey came out in Monaco, and you're one of the most experienced drivers. What's your general comment or specific comment about the results of that survey? Was there something that surprised you? Is it in keeping with what you think of F1? Is there anything you can tell us about your reaction to the results?
I don't think there are any massive surprises in there. Obviously, Kimi being the favourite driver of the fans, we knew that anyway, didn't we? So, so no, I don't think there are any massive surprises. I think it's just really nice to get the view of the people that are out there that are watching us race, whether it's at the circuit or on TV or read about Formula One. So it's nice to see their opinions, and I think a lot of us agree Probably not with everything, but we all have our own opinions of the ways that Formula One can be improved. It's great to see that there are lots of ideas that are floating around for the future in terms of making the cars wider, tyres wider, lighter, hopefully more sound. I mean, these are all things that are interesting, and I think that's great to see. So hopefully they will happen in the near future.
Do any of the other drivers have anything they'd like to add on the findings of the survey, or any points they'd like to raise now? Okay. Move on.
A question, excuse me, a question for Will. You said that you used to watch the British Grand Prix as a kid and growing up. Can you tell us your first memory and also maybe your favourite race memory watching it?
Can you remind us the name and publication?
Oh, sorry, it's Joe Bernstein, the Daily Mail.
Yeah, I mean, being British, obviously it's a race I come to a lot, so probably the first race I've been to was probably 10, 12 years ago, and I remembered it was wet, but that's not really too unusual for England. But I mean, there's been lots of good races here, more so on the old circuit, and now obviously with the new layout. Personally, I really like it. But yeah, the racing here is always exciting. There's always good atmosphere here, and that's where the British fans do a good job. So I'm sure this year's going to be the same, and looking forward to see what it brings.
Okay. No particular memory, one standout memory that you have?
Not particularly for here, no.
Heikki Kulta, Turun Sanomat. Valtteri, you seem to be very happy with the car after Austrian test. Is this the best Williams car you have ever driven, and is it good enough to repeat last year's result here?
Well, I think we've been improving all the time. So I think every race it's the best car we've had, I think, and it's good that we're making the right things, because it seems like still, since last year, nearly every single bit we put in the car it makes the car better. So it's a good direction, and like I said, I'm just looking forward for this weekend to see how strong we can be, possibly even stronger than Austria, but let's see.
Okay, next one. Any more? Okay, thank you very much, gentlemen. Good luck this weekend in the British Grand Prix, and full transcript of this press conference will be available at www.fia.com. Thank you.
Enjoy Sky Sports F1 Live on all screens, on the go, and the best bits on demand.